So the Game Awards were last night, and among everything else that was announced, I'm not sure if you caught it, if you watched the whole thing live or not, but they announced an Elden Ring kind of spin-off, an Elden Ring adjacent. And the reason why I say kind of is because it looks like it's going to be a merge of Elden Ring and a lot of content from Dark Souls, which I could not be happier and more excited for an announcement shooting to the top of my anticipated for 2025. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of go through this trailer. I'm sure Vati's going to put a video out soon that blows away any analysis that I can do. But there are a lot of interesting things that I think people have missed. Some things that I haven't really seen brought up that I think will just be, it'll make sense if we go through this. So let's take a look. So very Limgrave E. It's not exactly though. So this is not Limgrave itself. It's Limveld, I think is what they've referred to it as. But just if you pause in any of these shots, you can tell that it's not the exact same map. Although they have lifted some pieces, I think. The gates up to Stormvale are in a shot. So you have the Creeping in Fire. That's what I'm talking about. The gates up to where you would normally go through up to Stormvale. But if you notice the area around, it's not the same. Like this giant raised portion here doesn't exist in Limgrave. In the bottom, this isn't there in Limgrave standard, and where Stormvale, it's not there. I just noticed this. This kind of looks like some of these smokes, they're just like silhouettes of people walking around. You see that? I wonder if it's like that's what the fire walking in is, like part of the Night Lord. So you got Grace. That's a fast run animation. And I don't know if I think that's increased movement speed from what like a standard Elden Ring speed is. That looks way fast to me.
Redemption. You were chosen.
Flight.
Thrown together by forces beyond.
Notice here too, on this side, you know what it reminds me of? Like the entrance to Things Betwixt in Dark Souls 2. Really interesting. It's like a stubby version of those mage towers here. Then some weird like stair steps. Looks like they've made it to where you can get up. Everjail's.
Control.
This looks like, and obviously these have entire new areas, but this to me, the spider, I think is Brightstone Cove, Sildora, or Tesseldora, however you say it, from Dark Souls 2, which Dark Souls 2 is my favorite of the entries by a huge margin, however unpopular of an opinion that is. I have the most hours in it. And that'll be important later because I think we have more Dark Souls 2 enemies confirmed in the trailer alone. Okay, I'm going to back that up a little bit because bird person, literally, it's not just a helmet. It's actually like bird person, new armor set that I don't know that I've ever seen before. Arm crossbow. Interesting. This is the Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1. I mean, I don't feel like I really even have to prove this that hard. So Dark Souls 1 mobs, like hard confirmed. Hard confirmed. Not a lot I can see here. Kind of an interesting Master Chief grapple effect. So they're talking about characters having their own special abilities. In the, I think the official website talks about that, and that must be a bird ability. I unfortunately don't think that's a weapon art. Yeah. Little Zaymore fighters.
Tragedy must be a...
This is a Firekeeper. Now, I feel like there's some rendition of them where they're in white. But I don't remember what game it's from. But that mask, I know, like, y'all got any more pixels? I was trying to find a good image. There's probably a better one out there. But this, to me, looks like the Firekeeper's mask, which makes sense why they're talking about tragedy must be averted. We're probably getting some form of the convergence like we had in the DLC for Dark Souls 3, and kind of how Dark Souls, really the entire story of Dark Souls, all these lands converging on one another. We're probably seeing that, which is really interesting. If there's a lore implication there, maybe there's not. Maybe it's just a fun standalone whatever. My brain is just going a million miles an hour on what they're doing here.
averted. And for that, I need your help.
Where's Havilah, though? That's my question. Okay. Could this be Izalith with the ruins in the wall going up, and then at the depths you've got lava? Maybe not. But could it be? Or Izalith adjacent?
Stand tall.
Wall run.
The night is far.
And where's this? This is a huge zone that we didn't see in the panning shots that we had already of Limveld or whatever they're telling us. This is a big area here. And it looks like it's outside. It looks like up above is just sunlight. Oh, man.
Over.
I mean, everyone knows. You don't even have to play Dark Souls 3, I feel like, to know. Nameless King. Are you going to have both phases? I mean, I feel like this is 100% just lifted out and put in. This is amazing. This is fantastic.
Little pillager. Then
I get, like, dancer vibes from this helmet. And maybe I'm wrong.
little
Or like the brass set. I don't think it's the brass,
then tossed back in
but I
the
definitely get
lands of gold.
dancer vibes.
I will
Feels like
blot
the
away
Gaping Dragon. It's not.
and all who dare approach.
This looks like a monster from EDF, or some convergence of like the now I'm forgetting their names. When you go back in time in Dark Souls 1 in the DLC to fight the little dudes. And those heads almost look like those rat wolf heads of the people in Dark Souls 3's Irithyll? Yeah. Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. I feel like it's obviously not the same because they have like a long mouth back and more of like a possum look. But the design I feel is very similar. fighting those two wolves in the Dark Souls 2 Ivory DLC.
The life of the Night Lord.
Wow. So I've got the Steam page pulled up too for NIGHTREIGN, and a couple screenshots, some of the stuff that we've just seen in the trailer already. This wolf, the chimera that can split. I don't know this sword. Maybe it is an Elden Ring sword because that looks like part of the ring. I don't know that I know that weapon for sure. Flight. Right. Couple screenshots. That's interesting. It's almost like an Oblivion glass helmet. Is this Zully the Witch or Zul the Witch? Interesting. But what's really neat, this is just kind of another shot, still getting Mad Dancer vibes from that, is this. Now, so there is no question in my mind that this is Freya from Dark Souls 2. One of the really dead giveaways, the spikes on the feet. Also, these look like the Sildora spiders here. You kind of have the same mouth thing, kind of comes out, boom, out, boom, and it does thing here, boom, out on those little like front fangs. These I think are just Beastmen of Fair Missoula. I literally have no idea here. That to me is new. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. And then your Firekeeper again. So very interesting. Obviously wishlisted and followed. If we could get the Dark Souls 2 bosses in, like all of them, just lift all of them. If I can fight the Smelter Demon again and hate my life, this is easily all the way now at my number one most anticipated game of next year. No question. What are the limits? If they are bridging the gap, I don't think we'll see anything Bloodborne related, but if they're bridging the gap for all the games, I mean, could we see Demon Souls 2? Could we see like Demon Souls also, not like a sequel, okay? Could we, what are the limits? Midir? Are you going to be able to fight Midir? That would be insane. Who is the Night Lord? A lot of questions. What'll be interesting is to see the breakdowns come out of people that have a ton of time to kind of go through this. Things that I've missed that I didn't see. If there is something that I missed, also let me know. Post it, because my brain, I feel like, is just firing in every direction. This is super exciting. That's all I got. That's kind of my reaction / breakdown to that. I guess we'll see as more information comes out. There's a website up for it. Not a ton more information. It says it's going to be a 1 to 3 player game, co-op, PvE experience, rogue light, in that when you die and you lose, you're going to get relics for things that you've done, I think is what they referred to them as, relics, which can be used to modify and tailor your character. I think they said there are they're pre-made, I want to say they said 8 pre-made characters that you could pick from, modify with relics, and then take into your next run. You could play by yourself, you and a buddy, or up to 3 people, I think is the maximum that they said that you could take in to do randomized experiences, where that wall of fire, wherever you spawn on the map, however that works, is kind of closing in, and there are day-night cycles that you have to survive the day and night. I think at nighttime a boss appears, goes back into a day cycle where you're presumably running around finding gear, maybe changing out weapons. I don't even know, but it's going to be fantastic. It's a Bandai Namco FromSoft game built on Elden Ring's engine. What more is there to say? That's all I got. We'll see you on the next one.